Alright, let's take a look at Fallout 4's perks and special stats. Now, largely the stats are pretty much the same. You have charisma, strength, perception. They all pretty much do everything you want, as they did in Fallout 3, but agility is really important this time around. It determines your sprint, your VATs, of course, and it also determines your melee attacks. You can melee with weapons this time. And your actual melee weapons will have power attacks that take more AP than usual. So I'm going to show you how you can just boost up your charisma with items, and that will actually affect your barter skills. So you just pop on some charisma boosting gear. Like what I use is I got this suit that gives me 3 charisma and a hat and some sunglasses. Boosts it all the way up to 9 charisma.
Hey, Carla.
And you'll see a noticeable difference in the value of all your
I've
gear.
got a few minutes to browse.
And this means you don't even have to get the perk that gives you extra barter boost. So let's check it out. So Trash Can Carla is in my settlement, and she doesn't want to give me very much for anything if you don't have high charisma. So the more charisma you have, the more value you get out of your stuff. Or if you plan on selling a lot of stuff, you can just go ahead and get your the
Let's see what you
charisma
have.
boost or the barter boost perk. So now I have different stuff on. You'll see the Fat Man doesn't sell for as much as it did versus when I had high charisma gear. So this is a good way to earn cash, and it still basically acts the same way it did in Fallout 3, where you can just put on certain gear and persuade NPCs and get better prices.
Pick something up.
The cool thing about the dialogue system this time is you're not locked into it. You could actually snap out of it while you're talking to an NPC. So like, let's say a persuasion option pops up, you could look away for the NPC, put on your charisma boosting gear, and then go back to them and trigger the persuasion option. Usually, this is a good way to get different things without actually having to strong arm your way into it. Sweet talk someone into doing things. Alright, let's take a look at the perks. Now we know that the perks are separated in a grid formation, and we got 7 base attributes with 10 perks apiece. Now that might not sound like a lot, but a lot of the perks have different grades. Some of these perks get really insane later on, and you can mix and match these perks to make an insanely badass character. But the higher grade perks and their higher values are locked behind level gates, so that means you'll have to wait a little bit. Vesta really balances the progression out in this way. You don't have to worry about being too powerful too fast. Right now, these perks, this is where it starts getting nuts. I mean, look at some of these. Gun Fu looks crazy. I haven't got a chance to try it out, but it looks insane. Now, all of these higher tier perks are usually for end game stuff, and that's when you'll start to notice your character really take off. Now, the Pain Train looks insane. I mean, not only with power armor, when you get the upgrades of power armor, you could actually do enhanced melee attacks and all kinds of stuff. There's one where you could shoot out your fusion core. Like, let's say your fusion core is about to run out, you could shoot it out as a grenade and it explodes and deals insane damage. Like, the combinations with the skills and their different levels just adds a huge amount of character progression to this. I mean, you can do things, and this is just the vanilla version too. The final version is going to be pretty insane, especially when the mods show up. The Pip-Boy is pretty much basically, it's a little bit different. It seems more dynamic and modular, or, well, not modular, but more responsive, more fluid. You can place your markers, to mark different locations. Maybe you dropped your power armor somewhere and you want to go pick it up later. The map is pretty huge. I gotta say, it looks a little small at first, but it's pretty huge. There's really nothing to worry about in terms of the actual size of the game. Now this is cool. All the armor has different attributes. So you can see they have energy resistances, there's actual raw defense, and there's radiation resistance. You can check all this in your stat screen here. Now the quest line, or you get active perks, you can get those by picking up magazines and things like that. And there's actual a lot of magazines strewn out throughout the wasteland, so you don't have to worry about anything getting, you know, like, you'll find a lot of treasure. You won't run out of stuff to find anytime soon at all. And there's the combat. We'll go into combat a little bit later, or the crafting. And you do weapon crafting. Weapon crafting is absolutely insane. I mean, you can customize everything. It just blows me away every time. You could run around. My settlement isn't too huge. I got a lot of corn over there. A neat thing about your settlers is that you can give them weapons and armor, and you can make them equip them. So you can pretty much make them look anything like anything you want. I usually give them the gear that I get from the raiders and shit like that.
Come with me. I need your help.
You can command them to do different things, assign them locations.
I just want to trade a few things.
Sure thing.
You could actually give them your most powerful weapons. Like the Cryolator, which is amazingly fun to use. The weird thing is, I don't think they pop their weapons out unless you assign them to defense posts. And so far, I haven't really been attacked by raiders. I don't know what you have to do to trigger that. Like, you have to have a certain amount of resources or whatever. But I have a lot of.
I just want to trade a few things
around my settlement, so that might be why they don't show up. My understanding is that if you don't have a lot of defense and you have like a lot of crops and things like that,
I'm being sarcastic.
That the raiders will show up and just wreck everything.
I just want to trade a few things.
And some of the settlers are a little pissed. You can improve their disposition by adding water and food and things like that to your settlement. Are we gonna give her a rad
Just when you
suit
think
there.
you're safe, you're not. That's how they
I mean,
always
it's really neat because you can make them look like anything you want. You can give them all radiation suits and make them look like, you know, astronauts. It's pretty cool. Well, that pretty much concludes this portion of the review. Just taking a look at some of the perks and some of the obvious changes. You could sprint, things like that. So we'll go into more detail about everything else later on.